And oh, you fucker. And welcome back to the Daily Dribble podcast, guys. As always, I'm your host, Nick Zammit, here back for what is sure to be a bumper episode. I say it week in and week out, but it rings true still. As the playoffs continue, the action is only continuing to ramp up, especially as we approach the start of the second round. I am buzzing to say the least, so a big show in store for today, guys. Before we get into it, though, just a quick shout out to both Stadium Scene and The Cover, both those networks week in and week out, continuing to do tremendous things for me here, as well as helping showcase a whole heap of other content creators' work in and around Australia, New Zealand, the US, and Canada. So very, very appreciative for all their continued hard work and support of me. Now, normally at this point, I kind of thank all you guys for listening, tuning in, following all the socials, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, and things of the kind. This week, I'm here to eat a little bit of humble pie. Now, a few weeks ago, if you tuned into the show, I did my NBA playoff power ranking, or my championship power ranking, should I say. It's part and parcel. Not all of it went quite according to plan. But I do want to just shine a bit of a light on the Minnesota Timberwolves and the OKC Thunder, neither of which made my top 10. Now, I know there was quite a lot of disgruntled listeners out there, a lot of disgruntled fans, which is great, and you made sure to let me have it. Both both these teams swept their first round matchup, so I mucked up. I'll put my hand up. I'll wear that. But just want to, just eat a little bit of humble pie and say I'm not always going to get it right. But appreciate everyone who's put me up on it, which there has certainly been a lot of you. So very good. Let's get into some quick odds and ends. Before I give my predictions for the second round of the playoffs, I'm going to start quickly with Minnesota Timberwolves. Their head coach, Chris Finch, he's feared to have a torn patella tendon in his knee after a late game collision there with Mike Conley. This one happened late in game 4 there. Finch had to be helped to the back, and there was only a minute or so to go, and it was kind of a bit of a pivotal point in the game. The Wolves were in control, didn't quite have it wrapped up as of yet, but yeah, Finch had to be helped to the back there. They'll certainly be hoping for a speedy recovery with this one. They'll certainly want him. It's not only the players they'll want fit and firing heading into the next round, but also head coach there, Chris Finch. It was a pretty nasty collision, to be fair. It was Booker and Conley kind of jostling towards the sideline there, and I think just a little nudge to Conley, couldn't kind of readjust on such short distances, and just absolutely collected Finch there, who went down pretty hard, and as we said, potentially a torn patella tendon. Not ideal. Speaking of Devin Booker, now according to Stephen A. Smith, he wants to join the Knicks. Devin Booker wants to join the New York Knicks, according to reports. Now, after being swept 4-0, it's safe to say the Suns are well and truly in the hurt locker. They have no draft picks till 2030, have a ridiculously high wage bill that's only been increased with the acquisition of Bradley Beal there, and they have this inability to get over the hump at the moment. Maybe a shake-up's needed. What do you guys think? I don't think getting Beal personally was the right move. Unfortunately, now, though, their hands are pretty tight in that regard. But moving on from Booker could be a bit of a catalyst for change there. Reports have come out since they got swept that KD, since Beal, and this season in particular, hasn't really found himself in the offense, hasn't felt like it's been suited to kind of showcase his skill set. But yeah, moving on would be a huge change. From all reports, the Knicks, I think, would be pretty keen. Having that 1-2 punch with him and Brunson would make them so fun, so dynamic. Must-watch TV, to say the least. And from a scoring perspective, having someone the caliber of Booker there would just alleviate a little bit of the pressure that's being put on Brunson at the moment. So I would love to see this, to be honest. I think for all parties involved, it would shake things up, and I think it would benefit both. At the moment, as I said, the last couple of seasons for the Suns, they haven't quite been able to grasp that championship. My goodness, championship as of yet. So he's thinking a bit of a change might help KD last couple of seasons, that you're going to get the best out of him. Maybe they just need to go to him being the pure number one guy. Let's feed the ball down his throat at every opportunity. Whereas this season it was kind of juggling himself, Bill, Booker, Nurkic coming into the fold. A lot of mouths to feed there, but maybe just going purely KD-centric would help them. Now, per multiple sources, Darvin Ham's job is in serious peril. It's becoming more and more likely that by the end of the week, just as a little FYI, recording this one here on Friday, going to release it a day early on Saturday morning there, just prior to the second round tipping off. But it's unlikely. Should I say, it seems likely that Darvin Ham will be fired as head coach of the Lakers by the end of the week. Another underwhelming season, and for me, it would seem as if the time has come. Whoever gets the job is certainly going to have lofty expectations on them, as is part of the cause of taking over the head coaching role of the LA Lakers. There is an inbuilt need for success there. One of the most star-studded lineups, star-studded franchises in the league. Anything short of success is a failure. So there's going to be big expectations there. It'll be certainly interesting to see which candidates pop up over the next couple of days or week or so. I'll be certain to keep you guys posted on all of that. But as a Lakers fan, I think Darvin Ham had a big job on his hands, hasn't been helped by injuries throughout. But nevertheless, what's the expression? Heavy lies the head that wears the crown, and he won't be wearing the crown for much longer. A couple of quick injury pieces here. The Knicks will be without Bojan Bogdanovic for the remainder of the season. He's set to undergo season-ending surgery on both his foot and wrist. A big loss there, whilst Randall is also out. Just means they're going to have to keep ticking along as is, and Tibbs will just continue to roll out these lineups, playing mass minutes. Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson in particular there. Likewise, in the East, Kristaps Porzingis is expected to miss a minimum of several games with a right soleus strain there in the calf. The Celtics will miss him for a good part of their next round matchup against either the Cavs or the Magic. But this shouldn't affect them too much, I wouldn't think. They'll just be hoping he's back in time, fit and firing for the conference finals and hopefully beyond there. So, a couple of injury points there. Nothing too major. The Bogdanovic one isn't ideal, but he hasn't exactly set the Knicks on fire since his acquisition there from the Pistons. But, we'll see how the rest of things play out. Guys, let's push ahead.
The Daily Dribble.
As I said, moving ahead to the round 2 predictions. Now, I'm doing this somewhat prematurely. There's still a few first round matchups playing out, especially as we speak at the moment. Game 6 of the Knicks 76ers series going on as I record this one. Currently halftime there. But as like I did with the first round, I'm going to base my predictions on who I think will go through, the most likely team to progress there over the course of the last couple of games of the first round. So I'll start in the Eastern Conference there with the Celtics playing either the Magic or the Cavs. The Cavs currently lead that series 3-2. So I'm going to base my prediction on it being a Celtics-Cavs series. In this one, I'm going to take the Celtics in 5. I see the Celtics absolutely dominating the series, even without Porzingis there. I think Horford comes in. He's still a like-for-like, essentially, able to stretch the floor with his ability from 3. Isn't quite as dynamic as Porzingis, but I still think will fill that role really, really well. I think if Mitchell and Garland can catch fire, there's a chance they could sneak a game. I was almost going to go a sweep for this one, but I just think they're probably good enough to warrant a game here. With the firepower the Celtics possess, and especially with Derek White coming on as a real just catch fire shooter over the course of the last couple of games in particular, that is found money. If he's scoring 20, 25 points per game, it really takes the load off Tatum, Brown, Holiday, Porzingis whilst he's in. I think they should be too much to handle. And with that shooting ability and scoring prowess he showed over this series, defenses aren't going to be able to slack on him, which opens up more opportunities, less double team on Tatum, less on Brown. It just makes them so much more potent, I believe. From a Cavs perspective, they still probably, for me, look a piece away from being a genuine threat. But nevertheless, another year of experience under their belt is certainly advantageous. But they haven't quite found, I think, their best form yet. Garland, Mitchell's been a little hit and miss throughout this Magic series. Certainly been a few scares throughout that one. But I think now with the 3-2 advantage, they should hang on there. So for that matchup, as I said, just reiterating, Celtics in 5. The other matchup in the East is it's either the 76ers or the Knicks versus the Pacers. Now, this might not age well. I'm going to base it on the Knicks going through. They currently lead the series 3-2. At the time of recording, it is currently halftime in Game 6. The Knicks 51 to the 76ers 54 after the Knicks led by as many as 20 plus early on in that one. I'm still going to back the Knicks. Home court advantage going into Game 7, even if they lose this one. So I'm basing this on a Knicks-Pacers series. The Knicks with home court there. I'm taking the Pacers in 6. Now, this is a real battle of offense v defense. I personally think some of these Knicks players, Brunson and Hart, as I alluded to a few moments ago in particular, are probably going to be feeling a little more tired throughout the series. Tired legs. They've played a lot of minutes. And that's only going to continue to build up across the course of this series. For me, though, the Pacers are just looking so potent at the moment. This is some of the best ball that I've seen from both Miles Turner and Pascal Siakam, respectively. But for the Knicks to go deep, I think they're going to have to continue to have Brunson firing. DiVincenzo is going to have to make his shots. Hartenstein's going to have to actually stay on the floor as opposed to fouling, getting lots of fouls early. I just think with Robinson and Hartenstein as their center stocks, Turner's just going to be able to exploit them from that 3-point line. So I've got the Pacers in 6. I think it'll be a really fun series. I think Madison Square Garden will be absolutely rocking. But I just think the Pacers look like they're rolling at the moment. So Pacers in 6 there. Transitioning over to the Western Conference, we've got the OKC Thunder up against either the Clippers or the Mavs. Now, again, basing this one on the Mavs going through, they currently hold a 3-2 series lead going back tomorrow for Game 6 there in Dallas. So I'll base my prediction on that. Thunder and Mavs. Tough one. I'm taking the Mavs in 5. I think this is going to be a super fun series, but I think the dominance of Luka and Kyrie is going to be too much to handle. Plus their version of Lob City 2.0, there with Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively in particular, just eating the feed passes of Luka and Kyrie in particular. So dominant, just unstoppable. And even throughout the course of this series against the Clippers, they've had no answer for it. So good luck stopping that. From a Thunder perspective, SGA will have to be at that MVP level from start to finish. And he's going to need to hope that he gets consistent scoring from Chet, Giddey, Williams, if there to be any chance on a game-to-game basis. I just don't think they'll be able to execute well enough against this star-studded Mavs team there. God, they've looked good. Since Gafford came into the fold, PJ Washington, Derek Lively becoming more of a threat, they have just looked so potent. Some of the best ball that I've seen out of Kyrie in a long time as well. But take nothing away from the Thunder. Even if they are to bow out, they are building the right way. And they're going to come back bigger and better next season. But for me, I think this is where their journey will end this season. Fourth and finally, the Nuggets versus Wolves. Again, likewise from my prediction there with the OKC Mavs series. Probably going to get in trouble for this one as well. Nuggets v Wolves. I'm going to take the Nuggets in 6. The Wolves were absolutely incredible in their sweep over the Suns. Certainly surprised me. I, for one, did not see that coming at all. But I think the reigning champs will certainly be a much tougher proposition. They were able to overcome the Lakers 4-1 in their series, despite trailing for much of it. Rudy Gobert is going to have to be at his absolute defensive DPOY best if he's to nullify. He's going to have to nullify Jokic as much as possible. But whilst that's happening, Anthony Edwards is likewise going to have to at least match or you would say he's going to have to outperform Jamal Murray from a scoring perspective. For me, though, the big swing piece in this series is Michael Porter Jr. Now, he has the ability to catch fire and just completely turn a game on its head. Saw throughout times in that Lakers series when they were down, as I said, which was for much of it, he was the guy they went to for a bucket. I would like to have more faith in the Wolves, and I'm becoming more of a believer as the days pass. But I just think the Nuggets will be too good in this one, so I'm going to take them in 6. Guys, there you have it. Regardless, all 4 series throughout the second round, the conference semifinals are set to be must-watch. Honestly, the talent that all these teams possess is second to none. I'm chomping at the bit to get into it. The second round starts with the Nuggets and Timberwolves on Sunday here in Australia, so hence releasing this one on the Saturday to get that one a day earlier and hear my predictions. But as always, guys, really appreciate all the continued support. You guys continuing to tune in each week, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, watching this one on YouTube, and just staying up to date with all the socials. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. I have no doubt in my mind that I'll hear from a lot of you guys over the next couple of days to a week or so, just based off the back of this episode. A lot of people, I reckon, disagreeing, in particular with the Western Conference, where I've gone there. But nevertheless, looking forward to hearing your opinions, guys. Till next week, though, have a fantastic week. Enjoy the remainder of the first round and look forward to what's going to be a bumper second round of the playoffs. Till next week, guys. Take care.